Hello everybody, Ray Garner with Garner's Games, here to do my weekly comic review. And this week, the most obvious choice out there all, Batman #1. And I did pick this really nice alt cover to do my review with because I kind of like it. This book is brought to us by Matt Fraction and Jorge, I hope I get this name right, Jimenez. I think that's what it is, Gimenez. That's the way art. And I'll start off by complimenting the art. I'm here to this particular page that I really liked. This page right here. The angle of that, with Bruce standing in the hole in the side of the building and the downward view of the building, that was a very hard perspective to get correct. And it's kind of also a fisheye lens view. So very well done. Anyway, our story starts off with the former Commissioner Gordon, now reduced to a beat cop, talking about the weather with his new partner and playing about the heat and drinking coffee. And she's questioning how he can possibly be drinking coffee at this. Then we have this huge green thing come out of the sky and crash into a fresh steaks truck, start eating some of the fresh steaks, and apparently continue on. Then this doctor, and I've already forgot her name. What was her name here? See if I can find it real fast. I don't see it. Maybe on the page before. Hey, she doesn't say it right off the bat. Anyway, she's talking about how Croc is her patient. And Batman's arguing that people don't change. But he tells her he's going to bring him back alive so she can continue treating him. And again, complimenting the art. This beautiful view of Gotham. We got our TV shows going on in Gotham down at the bottom, kind of giving you some heads up of what's going on. As Batman is basically flying because he now has the Batwing, which is actually a way his cape deploys so he can more or less hang glider. And Vast Colors in the Dark is the name of the story, by the way. Now, of course, we're picking up with some of the stuff that's been set up in the Bat universe that I'm not 100% on board with, such as Commissioner Vandal Savage. And the Batmobile is basically a sports car. Muscle car, I guess, would be more accurate. It's kind of cool. I'm not completely on board with the Alfred hologram hanging out with him. And we do kind of jump around a little bit because we go to Robinson Park. And we got two girls running from these gangs with scissors. Tat her talking about giving them a sexier smile, which I assume means they're going to basically try to cut them up like the Joker in Dark Knight. Of course, Batman beats them down pretty abruptly. It's offering to help them and pointing out that he has EMTs are already on the way, and he orders the car to protect them. So apparently the car is now Kit, which makes sense for Batman to have something of that level. But he finds a butterfly, which leads him to the Gotham Zoo, where he finds the now highly mutated Killer Croc, who's sitting there and talking about being bad, while the security guard is like calling for backup and trying to get a mother and her child out. And Batman drops down behind him, grabs the gun, covers his mouth, and tells him the gun is scaring the child and would only make Croc mad. Tells him to basically be quiet, don't call the cops, and get the civilians out of here. And he gets ready to use the electro-charge bat gauntlets to take on Croc. And when he goes in there, Croc sees him, turns, looks at him for a second as he's getting ready to like go fisticuffs with Croc, and Croc just goes, "You bad, so go." And the hologram of Alfred is trying to basically point out to him that maybe the doc's right. Maybe people can change. And he makes the point that, you know, if Croc has gone back, regressed, that maybe he's just a child, alone, in a violent, traumatic world he doesn't understand, drowning in fear. It's as if you say no one ever really changed, Master Bruce, then surely you know how that feels. So he turns off the gauntlets and sits down with Croc and starts talking to him about the giant dinosaur in the middle of the deal. And they kind of talk and come to an understanding. And the doc shows up with all of her people. And as she's coming in, Bruce puts his cowl back on. By the way, he takes his cowl off and shows Croc. It doesn't really bother. And the doc's got a small little toy T-Rex that she's basically obviously been his favorite toy. And he's starting to leave it and goes, "Home now, she help. Who helped you?" And Batman's like, "My head is okay, Waylon. I don't need hope." And Clark just goes, "If you say so," and hands him the toy. And Bruce goes back to the Pennyworth mansion and talk about some trophy. But obviously it made some impact on him. And Robin was asking, is there anybody in the police that they're still friends with? Because the cops are now trying to arrest him. And it's coming soon in Batman Blue vs. Bat. New friends, new foes, and some old ones too. So I really like this story because it really just kind of dives you into the direction we're going with Batman in this new run. It doesn't undo everything that's happened before. It's kind of building on what's existed before. So I like that. You know, my only real complaint is the hologram Alfred. I mean, it's completely doable with Batman's technology. Probably could do more than that, but I like that. Oh, I did gloss over Vandal has a private police force auxiliary that's supposed to help out. That's there for him. That the police are actually supposed to call instead of actually handling crimes themselves if it involves anything beyond, like, you know, writing tickets or something. But one of my favorite aspects of this new run, and I'm going to kind of let it zoom in here on this picture right here. We're back to blue and gray, which is why I like this cover. We have spent better than 2 decades now trying to undark night Batman, because we have made Batman so dark, so gritty, he's almost ceased being Batman. He's gotten closer to being the Punisher. This feels like a new direction. This feels like Batman getting back to being what Batman's supposed to be, and I'm hoping this is not a red herring and this is the direction we're going to go. I don't mind Bruce being rough and tough on his villains. He has to be. He is a guy in a bat suit taking on some of the most dangerous criminals in Gotham. So he has to be rough and tough. But I don't want him going ultra violent to where he is just as bad as the people he's fighting. He is supposed to be a superhero, part of the world's finest. You know, he is one of the 3 greatest heroes in all of the DC universe. And part of that is being better than everybody else. And he is. And he should be written that way. And I'm glad to see that this writer is taking him that way. And I really am happy with the way this book is looking. So I really highly recommend this. This is a fantastic jumping on point if you've been a Batman fan and been out of the loop for a while. If you've been a Batman fan who has become a little disenfranchised, I do recommend it highly that way. Also, if you're a fan of the way Bruce is written in the Batman and Robin comic, I think this is a great continuation of that. So by all means, check this book out. And I'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.